What is really better than sex? Something you were dreading getting cancelled. Not having to worry if you can afford something. Edit. I thought this would have got lost in the one upvote oblivion. Go figure. My brother never worries if he can afford anything. That is a huge problem because he is always broke. Well, you don't need $1 million to do nothing, man. Take a look at my cousin. He's broke, don't do shit. Hey Peterman. Check out Channel 9. Breast exam. Watch out for your cornhole, bud. No, thanks man. Don't need you ducking my life up too, man. Sound sleep. Sound sleep is criminally underrated. Like a misdemeanor at least. Well, of course, cause the more I misdemeanor I get. Letting out a giant fart and then your stomach pain stops. And your pants fit better. Fit better because they fill up. D. Did you know diarrhea is hereditary? It runs in your genes. Not having to worry about the living costs for the next month. Oh man, during COVID. I was unemployed for a bit. The unemployment didn't hit for like 11 weeks. But when it did, mega relief. Went from about to ask my parents for money to I can manage this for a few months, in an instant. Recently quit a job where I put my 110% in. They treated me like shit, I quit. Been jobless for 3 weeks and it's been the worst. No spending money. No money to eat. Sleeping on my mom's couch. Thankfully just got a new job so hopefully things start looking up soon. Don't know why I'm venting on Reddit but I hope someone can relate. I quit my job at the start of COVID cause it was shit too. I worked in billing for a medical equipment provider with a constant turnover in my department. They made me train the new employees and when that employee quit again after 2 weeks I had to train the new one again. Then proceeded to have my boss threaten to have me fired because I wasn't doing my job because they were making me train the new employees. Icing on the cake was when the owner of our company, a company that supplies oxygen tanks and breathing equipment, tried to convince us that COVID was a hoax because he didn't want to allow us to work from home. My manager tried to convince me to stay because I was the only one who knew how to do the job and I quit anyway. Know your worth. Know your ducking worth, sister. Proud of you. Well, be okay. Falling on your bed after a productive day and a hot shower, knowing it's weekend day off tomorrow. Edit. What might improve the experience? Rain outside, fresh bed sheets. I don't know man, but I love food and sometimes a nice meal will go a long way improving my mood and overall well-being. It's even better if you're legitimately hungry. That and truly good music are the two things that make me go, God, it's good to be alive. My loved ones are okay too. Feeling of stability and safety. Not as if I won't get punched today, more like I do not need to worry if I have enough to pay my rent. Getting a bad abscess in a tooth drilled out. I tried getting an emergency appointment over a weekend but was told it'd have to wait till Monday. Monday came and I still remember that feeling of relief when it was drilled out, lasted longer than any orgasm I've ever had. The one and only root canal I ever had, was like this. When the drill broke through the root and the infection started draining out from behind my nose, it was the most overwhelmingly immediate relief. I even moaned. For me it was when the Novocaine finally kicked in. I needed a root canal when an internal cavity in my molar eventually broke my tooth open leaving pulp exposed. She kept injecting it all over around the tooth and even drilled into my jaw to try injecting it from underneath and she refused to believe I could still feel it and got pissy at me whenever I winced in pain whenever she would try to get started, thinking I'm being overdramatic and confusing pressure with pain. No. She eventually injected it directly into my exposed tooth pulp and that was the most intense 0.1 seconds of pain of my life followed by final relief. I almost wanted to fall asleep while she did the rest of the procedure. I have the exact same problem. They have to inject directly in there for the painkiller to actually work. Heck, I had my tooth removed a few months ago and the painkillers hadn't taken effect like they thought it did. I felt everything. When I was a kid I had to get 2 teeth removed, one from each side, to make room for adult teeth coming in. The numbing worked on one side, but on the other it only numbed my upper cheek nose area, not that side of my mouth at all. I was too shy to mention it to the dentists, so I felt everything as they struggled to yank that resilient sucker out. Pretty excruciating but I powered through, eyes watered a bit though from the pain and one little tear rolled down my cheek, But after the ordeal was over, when the dental assistant led me back to the packed waiting room, she tells my mom that I got scared and cried a little bit but otherwise did a good job. In my head I'm like, bullshit. I wasn't scared at all, I was a ducking warrior dealing with that. Don't make me seem like a wimp in front of everyone. You are a trooper and I commend you for your stoicism. A good shit after a few days of constipation. There ain't nothing like taking a good shit. A few years ago my mom made ham and bean soup. The next day I took the best shit of my life. I felt like a new man and had a better perspective on life after that shit. I'll never forget it. One time I had been feeling bloated and then I absolutely annihilated a church bathroom. God, I feel bad for that church's janitor. You're supposed to shit inside of the toilet. Just like stop signs, this is merely a suggestion to me. Taking a piss after holding it in throughout the movie in theaters. Oh, you gotta just go take the piss. You develop a sense for slow points in movies. It makes the remainder so much more enjoyable. Source: I love Marvel movies but I cannot stop myself from getting the big soda. Wish I could just avoid the soda and be done with it. I'll spend an afternoon without having to go, but as soon as I walk through the theater doors the urge to piss begins increasing to the point I have to say duck it and lose a couple of scenes. Getting rid of that piece of kernel that was stuck in between your teeth for hours. Or when your one nostril finally clears after suffering for half a day. Fun fact, orgasms will clear up your sinuses as well, since the rush of adrenaline usually causes the tissues in your nose to shrink. Recently, scientists were awarded an Ig Nobel Prize for their study about this. TheGuardian.com. Should have read the article. I masturbated upside down and now both nostrils are plugged up. You weren't supposed to shoot in your nose. Just making it to the toilet when you have a turd trying to push past your last line of defense. Got a 9 grip on a 10 turd. Connection. When she's actually also your friend. When you can goof off and be silly. Laugh for real. You'll know it when you're somewhere, see something and laugh not because you think it's funny, but because you know how she'd react if she saw it. Same from her to you. Also cuddles. Specifically in the colder seasons. I agree so hard. I married my best friend and got a dog. Every single day is dope as hell. One time we had a water fight inside the house at midnight on a weeknight and laughed like hell. We're stuck in lockdown right now and although I wish we could go out, everything I need is right here. Instructions unclear, married my best friend's dog. Quitting a shitty job. Getting to pee after holding for an hour. Healthy body. One less problem to think about. And a healthy mind. You're asking too much of me. Waking up one morning and finding that 17 years of chronic migraines and daily severe headaches had finally ended. I've had some damn good sex, but moving beyond a debilitating pain issue is way better than sex. Questions on AskReddit that aren't about sex. Posts on Tifu that aren't made up about sex. Seriously, if there was one sub I could delete from the front page it would be Tifu. Posts with 40k upvotes that say Tifu by doing while having sex. I swear this site feels like it's 90% bots. To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentation of their women. A cold glass of water when you're really thirsty or tired from physical activity. Eating your favorite food item from your favorite local restaurant after not having had it for a long time. Foreplay. Good long sensual foreplay can last for hours. Sexy playtime. The end act is almost irrelevant.